Valentine's Day from Menopause Mondays. I want to tell you I love our community of midlife women and perimenopausal women. And so in honor of Valentine's Day, I thought I would invite my daughter Sarah over.
Hi.
Sarah just turned 42. She is not in perimenopause yet, but as we know, this journey can begin anytime in your 40s, early 50s, and one never knows. Everyone's different. So I wanted to talk about with Sarah what it's like to start dating again for women who may find themselves suddenly single. I know Sarah has helped some of my friends with this process recently, very successfully. So we thought we would share some of these tips with all of you because I do get questions about, you know, how do I handle all this when I'm handling symptoms of menopause. So Sarah, take it away.
Okay. Well, first of all, happy Valentine's Day. So one of the things that I've talked to your friends about who have either been, like you said, found themselves newly single, that could be because of a divorce or because they've lost their partner. Either way, it's a very challenging time, and it is scary to get back out there. And certainly I think extra scary to get back out there after not having been out there for so long. Most of these people were in relationships for a very long time.
Very long time.
Even for me, I mean, dating looks completely different now than it used to. It's very unusual that you get set up with someone and you just meet somebody when you're out at dinner with your friends.
How I met your dad,
right.
Almost 45 years ago, it will be 45 years in April, this April, was a blind date that I didn't want to go on and he didn't want to go on. And after a year, we finally said yes.
Right, and that still happens. People do set each other up, and that's nice. It's just not as common anymore, and and it's hard to do it like that. So, I think it's important to just put yourself out there onto online dating apps, which can be really scary at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that scary. Although I will say some of the dates that you might go on might be scary because not every one of those dates is going to be awesome and wonderful and fabulous.
No, it's the same when you have a blind date.
Yeah, so
I went on some pretty scary blind dates, which is why I started saying no to blind dates.
Right. So I think if you put yourself on, there are lots of different online platforms, and I helped a couple of your friends do this. We just decided I think the best thing to do is to be completely honest about who you are. And really when people say put yourself out there, I think you need to really do that. Don't try to say you like hiking when you don't like hiking.
Why would you do that? Because when it comes to hiking, you're not going to want to do it.
Right, and so I'm just using that as an example.
Yes.
If you're like, you check the box, I guess I like hiking. If you think hiking is going for like a nice stroll in the park, a guy who loves camping and hiking is going to be like, ooh, that's so cool that you like to hike. Me too, I hike. All around the world. And then he's going to be like, hey, we connect on that. No, you don't, because you weren't being honest.
Exactly.
So
I went through this.
Don't do that.
I went through this with your dad. He was a big baseball Yankees fan, okay?
Yeah.
While in one of our first dates, one of the first 5-10 dates, he takes me to a Yankees game. And I'm sitting and I'm watching this game, and I'm like, am I going to pretend I like to watch baseball, or am I going to be honest? And I said, well, if I end up dating this guy more than 5-10 times, which has been now, I'm going to be stuck going to baseball games, and I would rather watch paint dry. So he turns and looks at me and he goes, are you enjoying the baseball game? And I said, well, I'd rather watch paint dry. And he goes, okay,
got it. I love that you're really very subtle.
And that was the last time, except one other time, that I went to a baseball game with him, which was because our son, your brother, wanted to go to a Yankees game for his birthday.
We took magazines.
Sarah and I went with all of our magazines, and we
were reading Vogue.
But we were with them.
But we were there.
And they never asked us again.
No,
it worked.
They go alone now. It worked. Yes. But anyway, so I think being really honest about the things that you're into and also the things that you're not into.
Yes.
So for example, if you are not like this happened with one of your friends. She was like, I don't want to be with somebody who just wants to sit at home all the time.
Yeah, she's a doer.
I want to be out, and I want to be, living life. I'm free from this, marriage that was not healthy, and I'm out there being me now.
And by the way, she's in her 60s.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
it was brave to
Very brave.
make a change in her life. She was miserable.
Yes.
And
Very brave. I commend her.
Very
for that.
brave.
So that being said, she sort of has this whole new lease on life. So she was like, if I'm going to date somebody, I want to be out and about and doing, and I want to be, and I like to go to this and I like to do that. And so one of the things that we put in her profile, just so that people weren't going to connect with her that we're homebodies,
Right.
is that she's not into homebodies.
Right.
And that she really wants to be out doing things. And then ultimately, I think she connected with people who also want to be out doing things and taking
Right.
trips, and that's
Right.
what she wants to do. So, I think part of it is what you want, what you don't want, and what you're looking for. If you're
Right.
just looking for a fun, someone to just go have fun dates with and not like a serious long-term relationship, then you should be honest about that.
Yes.
Especially, I think
That's a good point.
for women in like my age group, especially that are dating, I think we all talk about this, and we come across this a lot, where it says, what are you looking for? A long-term relationship, something casual, marriage and kids, whatever. Well, I have kids, I don't want any more children. I'm not having any more children, right? I know that. So I'm not going to go on a date with a guy that says he's looking for marriage and children. He's obviously wants to have his own children. So he's off.
Why put yourself through that in case you were to
Right.
fall in love?
But exactly. So don't even start with that, because then you're starting off on the wrong foot anyway.
Yeah.
But when a guy puts, I want something casual, that means he just wants to have sex and F around with you and lots of other people.
Oh,
so
good to
if
know.
you
Yeah.
don't want to be involved in something like that, don't go out with a guy who writes he just wants something casual.
That's why several of my many people have actually hired Sarah to help them and work with them so they can maneuver this new dating world very successfully, actually.
Yeah.
And like you said, some of them have found they just had some great dates.
Yeah.
And some of them are actually in a serious relationship right now, not marrying, but having one relationship,
Partner, yeah.
one partner, and very happily.
Right.
So I think that is such great advice, because I think what sometimes we tend to do is try to be everything for everybody. And if it's one thing we've both learned through our life, mine's a little longer than yours, but you've learned it, Sarah, is you have to really be who you are.
Yeah.
And who you are needs to be fantastic to somebody.
Right.
And you don't want somebody who wants to change you.
Yeah, you definitely do
And
not
you
want that.
shouldn't look at somebody that you think you're going to change.
Yes.
Because people don't change, guys.
No.
Nobody changes.
Very rarely.
They tell you who they are, and it's statistically proven that women don't listen.
Well, and when you're doing online dating, it's not just the not listening, it's the not reading it.
Right.
Okay, so you're looking at these profiles, and a lot of these guys really do say
Yeah.
their truth too, and you have to actually read, and sometimes read between the lines, and that's a little bit of a finesse
That's experience.
that you just learn after
What those
doing it a
words
little.
mean.
You've got to learn what the words mean.
Like me, if I were to read a casual relationship, I wouldn't have thought, oh, I just want to sleep with you, and I'm going to be sleeping with a bunch of other women.
Right.
Like, that wouldn't be,
Right.
that's a turn off to me. It might be a turn on to somebody else, but
Yeah,
that would be
that's
a turn
not
off.
for everybody,
Yeah,
but it is
yeah.
for some people,
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But I
think
wouldn't know that term.
right. So, but part of it is just a little practice. You got to just start doing it. You're going to go on some not great dates.
Yes.
Sometimes people lie.
Yes.
I'm 5'10". I like to wear heels.
Yes.
I
like to wear heels.
Not comfortable dating men that are shorter than me. It's just I'm not comfortable, and so I
Yes.
don't do it.
We never were.
Nope. That being said, I have definitely gone on a date where someone said that they were like 6'2", and then showed up being a little bit closer to like 5'9". That's a big stretch. And I was wearing like a really high heel, and I just remember being like, what happened to that other guy? Great. And now I'm stuck here. He was a very nice person, but
Yeah.
right out the gate, we're starting off on a lie. So,
Yes.
that's not a good way to be. And I say that as well, like, also be honest. Like for me, if somebody says, oh, you seem fantastic and this and that, but they're much shorter than me, I'm just going to be like, I'm probably not, it's probably not the right connection I'm just not comfortable with that.
Right.
I'm sorry. And I've been told that that's superficial, but you know, it's really just a preference. That's what's comfortable for you, and you need to know that. And sometimes, again, it takes like practice and figuring out, you know, what you are comfortable with, what you're not. I do not think people should lie about their age. A lot of people think that they should, and a lot of people don't do that. I think it's really important, if you're 65, say I'm 65.
Totally.
You know, showing up on a date and saying, by the way, I'm 10 years older than what I said I was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you want to date someone who lies?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right. So anyway, be honest.
Yeah.
You definitely put real looking photos of yourself up.
That was the other thing.
Don't put photos from like 15 years ago.
Right.
Just be, you are, I'm sure.
Where you've been touched up and, you know.
No filters on dating pictures and things like that. It's just not advisable. Just, you want to be authentic, be who you are, say what you're looking for, say what you don't like, and then take chances and just say yes, and then never ever commit to a full dinner. Ever.
Yeah.
Don't do dinner dates, because it could be bad and then you're stuck having dinner. Do coffee, a drink, a walk. That's it.
Okay.
You can, and then someone always needs to know where you are and who you're with.
Right. That's a good point.
We do a group text, a bunch of my girlfriends, anyone that's on a date, we do proof of life. We need to make sure you're okay. And we always know.
See, this is very good advice.
So, dating in your 40s. Anyway. Yeah.
One other thing, real important, because this was tricky in the old days. If you're on a date and it's just horrific, how do you get out of it?
Okay, so again, going back to the group text or someone knowing where you are, there's always a code that like you need someone to call you or text you and you go, oh my God, hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry. I have to go.
Exactly, there you go.
And that's it. And if you have children, you can always say something with my kids. I gotta go.
I gotta go.
And if anyone has a problem with something with my kids, then they're definitely not for you anyway.
Out.
Right?
All right, so to wrap this up, that's great advice. If you're like me and you've been with the same man for almost 45 years, I say make sure you keep dating him. Yes. And that's what we try to do. And I say Valentine's Day, David plans it, and he does whatever, he makes the decision as if we were on a date, and he's in charge of the Valentine romance. And I like to keep dating my husband. That's just me.
I think that's good advice, though.
Yeah, that's good advice.
It's working out well.
It's working. It's working. But he's still on probation, so don't tell him it's working.
Yeah. When does he get out of probation?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Just checking on that. That's what I thought.
He's just been trained. He's now learning that the dishes go in the dishwasher.
Okay. He's wonderful.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Love it up.
The Menopause Monday Sisterhood. Keep